Hey everyone, this is PM Sports Talk, the father and son duo podcast. I'm your host Preston, alongside my father Mike and Dad. How are we doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. What a weekend of sports. I can't wait. Get into it. Let's go.
Let's go. We got college football first. We had a couple of ranked matchups. We had USC and Illinois as the big noon game. Did you end up tuning into this one?
I
Because
did.
it was a great ending.
I did. I ended up sticking with it because the other game I was watching ended up being horrible. The Notre Dame game.
Just so you guys know, the number one Notre Dame haters on this podcast. I walked into the living room and he's over here hate watching, hoping Arkansas can pull off the improbable.
Yeah, and we saw how that went. That was horrible. So yeah, I turned over to the USC game, and yeah, it ended up being a great game.
USC, the top performer from them was easily Mekhi Lemon. He had a couple touchdown grabs, 11 receptions, over 150 yards receiving. He played great. This turned out to be a game which happened to be who got the ball last, and that ended up being Illinois. And they got in the range, and they kicked the game-winning field goal. Also, Luke Altmaier did about just everything for this Fighting Illini squad, the quarterback.
Yeah, and then USC came back to take the lead with a touchdown there, and I was like, yeah, that's left way too much time. They're going to end up losing the game. And sure enough, Illinois marches down and gets the field goal. Both offenses were very good. Maeva played excellent for USC. And like you said, Lemon, to me, he was the best player on the field. Everything that was thrown his way, he caught. And he's just a little guy. And he was fighting with those weren't just, him using his speed. Those were contested catches he was making. And
the second touchdown, the one he caught late, that was a back shoulder that he was able to snare.
That's the first time I really watched USC this year. So I don't think he was on the team last year, or he didn't play much or something. But who knows with the transfer portal, it's hard to know all the players like you used to, so they move around so much. But yeah, he was excellent. Both teams had like almost 500 yards in offense, and great game. So Illinois pulls it off after they got shellacked last week by Indiana, which is still mind-boggling to me how they got shellacked by Indiana. But
this one was kind of had to have it.
Yep.
Make sure we can boost our rep, move on to the next one, and they were able to fight with USC until the end and get the win there at home. We also forgot Friday. Down goes number 8, Florida State. They move all the way down to number 18 after a upset overtime loss to Virginia.
Yeah, what a crazy game that was. Virginia pretty much was in front the whole game. Florida State just could not stop them. The quarterback for Virginia he used his legs really well. Mobile guy, just a gritty guy. Got the job done for Virginia. Those Thursday and Friday night games it seems like those are always like trap games. I don't understand why, but it seems like they are. I remember Florida State when we used to always be good back when I was your age. It seemed like those Thursday night games were trap games. They ended up losing. They lost to Virginia one other time when they were highly ranked, and same thing. And it's like going on the road on those. For some reason, they have trouble with those games because I bet you if these two teams played 5 times, Florida State would probably win 4 out of the 5. But hats off to Virginia. Maybe they're better than what we think, but I don't know. I could see them losing next week. It's just right Friday night, Thursday night, and the crowd was nuts.
That field rush may have been the greatest field rush ever. I mean, it was an absolute stampede as soon as it was the final play.
You saw them lining up. They were showing them for like the last couple minutes. They were getting ready. And, the I forget how it ended. Was it Florida State? They went for the pass, right? The guy was still on the ground, and there was people like
That seems to be the
thousands of people
that seems to be the headline.
had already gone over him in the end zone. It was like
Yeah,
crazy.
Squirrel White. He ended up getting caught in the stampede and had a lot of people like wondering how he was doing.
There was a story I saw it in the news the next day that there was a bunch of people got hurt. I want to say like 15, 20 people ended up going to the hospital for because they got run over. You know, students getting caught up and everybody's just going. When there's that many people running and you fall down, you're getting run over. Simple as that. And
Yeah, you gotta stay on your feet.
that's just crazy. I got to be honest with you, when I was watching that, I was getting like claustrophobic watching that. The players, Florida State players, trying to get off the field. I mean, and even the Virginia players, a lot of them were trying to get off the field too. They showed us one lineman. He was just like, he was spent. What a game and he's just trying to work his way off the field, and he couldn't get off the field because of all these people. And it's like you're watching that, and you're like, man, you feel like they're trapped on the field. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, but what a win for Virginia. And I really feel bad for Florida State that they dropped that far, because now if they play Miami this coming week, probably, which was going to be the big game, probably still is the biggest game of the weekend. And now if they lose that game to Miami, they're going to drop right out of the rankings, and a team like Notre Dame, we had this talk last week. They're still, they'll still stay in the rankings.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Anyway,
they stayed ranked. They stay ranked even after they apparently beating Purdue and Arkansas and losing to Texas A&M and Miami. Apparently, that's more worthy of having a spot in the rankings than beating Alabama and losing one to Virginia. But,
yeah, in overtime.
But I'm no expert, so
anyway,
let's move on. We had Alabama and Georgia. That one had a lot less hype to it than it usually does, I feel, but it was still a close, good game. Alabama ends up taking it for the second straight year. Ty Simpson had a great game passing the ball.
I just don't understand. Georgia just cannot beat Alabama. Even when Georgia's the better team, they somehow cannot beat Alabama. If ever there was a year you're going to beat Alabama, wouldn't you think it'd be this year?
You would think.
The way Georgia played against Tennessee and all that, they're at home besides, and
I don't understand. They play their best football and probably the hardest atmosphere in college football, but they can't beat Bama even when they have their home field advantage.
This is not. I mean, Alabama's good. They're always good. They always have good players. So I don't want to undersell Alabama, but Georgia, you got to win this game. I mean, don't you?
You would think.
Come on. So
coming
now
off a big win against Tennessee, and then you can't get a win in the SEC against a weak I'm not gonna say weak, but a weaker Alabama team.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I mean, maybe at the end of the year we're gonna find out that Alabama was better than we thought, and it was just a bad game against Florida State. I don't know, but Georgia, you got to win this game. He just cannot beat Alabama. I used to always think it was because of Nick Saban, but what's your excuse now? You lost last year to them.
Just lost to Kalen DeBoer
twice. Kirby Smart, you're the better coach here. You got to win this game. I don't know what they're doing there, but
Georgia wins 21-24, as well as another SEC play. We had Ole Miss take down number 4, LSU. Now they have just switched spots. Ole Miss is 4, and LSU is down to 13.
Same old LSU, big hype, and then they can't win a big game.
Wonder what Brian Kelly had to say after the game. I didn't catch it, but man, that guy is he can't win big games.
I watched a lot of this game, and
with how
Ole Miss was the better team by far.
With how Clemson has been playing this year, I don't want to hear anyone calling that a big win. Uh, it's a big atmosphere, but I mean, we've seen Georgia Tech, uh,
Syracuse.
Syracuse without Steve Angeli for about the whole game. Georgia Tech. So, yeah, that was embarrassing. But LSU, Ole Miss, I don't know how they weren't ranked to begin with. They were 4-0 coming into this game.
Well, they were ranked
Where were I didn't see where they were ranked.
13.
13.
Remember you said they switched spots?
Oh yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Lane Kiffin just simply outcoached Brian Kelly, and Ole Miss's offense was just way better than LSU's. See, 480 total yards. The LSU couldn't run the ball. That's a big one. 57 rushing yards the entire game.
Yeah, they can't run the ball, and that's horrible. So I don't want. I know it's early. It's one loss, but I don't want to hear LSU mentioned with a national championship uh, until I see them go undefeated the rest of the way. Because to me, that team, they underachieve all the time. They have talent. It's LSU. I don't know if it's Kelly. I don't know what it is, but they don't win games they're supposed to win, and it's just same old story with LSU under Brian Kelly. To me, um, they at a minimum have to make the college football playoff. If they don't, I mean, I don't know what kind of contract he has there, but geez,
He's got to get the boot, you would think.
I mean, they don't put up with that there. They're about winning championships there. They're not satisfied with just being, top, 15 or whatever. They expect to be in the mix every year, and they just don't win these big games with him. So maybe
Yeah,
it's Ole Miss's year, though. I mean, maybe that's just the time. But
yeah, they look really good so far.
they
So
do.
keep an eye on them. And speaking of teams that seem to not be able to win big games, Penn State and Oregon, whiteout. What is a whiteout? Oregon comes in and defeats Penn State in overtime, double overtime, and their offense looks sluggish until the fourth quarter. It was 17-3 at a point. Oregon. Penn State was able to get a couple of touchdowns, flip momentum, and tie the game. Eventually went to overtime. Both teams scored in the first one. Second overtime, Dante Moore and Oregon score in one play. Drew Aller on the first play of their drive throws an interception. Oregon wins. That can we just like stop giving hype around this guy? Stop giving hype around Penn State until they take down a top 10 team. This team is overrated every single year. They win the games they're supposed to do just enough to get into the playoffs somehow. Then they can't win big games. And I don't want to hear that Penn State made the Final Four last year because, let's be honest, they played an SMU team that was okay. I don't remember who they played next.
Boise State.
Boise State, who was, you can argue, was carried there by one player and played in the Mountain West. And as soon as they played Notre Dame, they were in it for the game, but they couldn't finish the job. So,
Yeah, we both picked Penn State last week to win this game because we both thought that being at home, big advantage, whiteout, like you said, night game. Figured that Penn State might push Oregon around a little bit. They've got an offensive line and two NFL running backs, and supposedly one of the best offensive lines in the country, and they only ran for 139 yards. Against an Oregon team. This is Oregon, not known for their defensive and offensive lines so say. They're more known for their skilled players, right? But
Yeah, for sure.
Dan Lanning, I guess, is changing that there, though. After watching that game, I was like, wow, I was really impressed with their defensive line. I thought they controlled the game pretty well. And the quarterback, Dante Moore, who I didn't think much of. I just didn't think that he had played anybody yet. And he really impressed me. He was by far the better player in that game, going into a place like that and playing that well.
Right, yeah.
And like you said, with Drew Aller, I don't want to hear any more about Drew Aller. He threw for 137 yards. This guy,
He's so overrated.
he is.
I don't understand why. What do teams still see?
He's got the big, strong arms. That's it. And he's got the body. He's big. He's got the big, strong arm, but he's not accurate.
Not everybody with a big body and a big arm is Josh Allen.
I mean, maybe it's coaching. I don't know, but
it could be. I mean, James Franklin, I'm not giving him a pass either. I mean, this guy can't win big games either. I mean, he can't win big games with rosters before Drew Aller got there, before his two running backs got there. And now when you have a really good roster, you have, like you said, people think they have the toughest, best line, one of the best lines in the country, and Kaytron Allen and Nick Singleton are running for 75 yards combined. That's inexcusable.
Two NFL running backs, and
Nick Singleton had 11 carries. He averaged not even 2 yards a carry, and Kaytron Allen only averaged not even 5. 12 carries, 54 yards.
Unbelievable. I just don't. I watched this team last year. Even when they played Notre Dame, they ran the ball well. I don't understand what happened.
That's one thing.
That's what puzzled me about this. And then when that's your strength, and then you expect Drew Aller to win the game for you, it's kind of hard because you're always playing this heavy run game. And so, but he makes that same mistake he made against Notre Dame last year in this game. Throws that interception. I don't know what he was looking at there.
That was not even close to open. I mean, even if that linebacker doesn't get it, that safety's making a play on that ball.
That's just horrible. They can't win the big. And now, look, they've beaten nobody. They have what? I don't know if they play.
Why are they 7?
They play
UCLA next.
UCLA, which is going to be a win, but then they play UCLA is horrible. Then they play Indiana. Do they play Ohio State this year? Because if they don't,
I don't know. Let's click on. I don't know. Does Penn State play Ohio State? Oh man. Let me tell you before we check that out. I mean, I really think they could lose to Indiana. Indiana's look good. There it is, November 1st, Penn State, Ohio State in the shoe.
Yeah, so I'm going to give them a win against Indiana.
I'm not going to say Indiana for sure wins.
I'm just going to
I think they, with how good Fernando Mendoza's looked, I think this is a close game. And then I think barring an absolute collapse, I think Ohio State should beat that team.
I mean, they have to win both those games, or they have no business being in a playoff.
They need. I would say they definitely need a win over Indiana.
They need to run the table,
and they need to play Ohio State well.
Yeah, they need to demolish Indiana, and then they need to, like you say, they seem to always play Ohio. It's always somewhat close, but they can't beat them. So that game is where was that game again?
The shoe.
That's in Ohio State. They have no chance. They're not winning that game. No way is Penn State going to go in there and win that game. I
Not from what I've seen.
so, but somehow, some way, if they beat Indiana, they'll find themselves in that playoff, which they would have no business being in my opinion. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, there was your college football outlook. Do we have any games next week?
It's a weak schedule now. The only game of note that I like is the Miami Florida State game.
You're not looking at that Vandy Bama game?
That's a tricky game. I mean, Vandy doesn't like move the needle for me, even though they're ranked 16th. They just because they're usually horrible, so you don't. But I mean, I'll watch it because I want to see Alabama get beat, but I'll be rooting hard for Vanderbilt. But the game that I want to see is the Florida State Miami game. But
yeah, that'll definitely be game of the week. Florida, Texas before the season looked good. That
means nothing now. Wisconsin, Michigan doesn't mean anything because Wisconsin's horrible.
Texas A&M, Mississippi State. I think that's a tricky game.
Mississippi State was close to beating Tennessee.
They were 7 points away.
They would have been 5-0 if they won that game.
I mean, they were really flipping the script. You remember how horrible they were last year.
Yeah.
So, and I think that Texas A&M only beat Auburn by 6 points. So, definitely look forward to that game. See what happens there. And of course, Notre Dame's playing Boise State. Anyways, we have the MLB playoffs. I mean, this bracket is set in stone. We said last week that teams that might get in, this might be determined in the last week of the season. It sure was. Or last games of the season, it sure was. The Cincinnati Reds win the gauntlet. Mets out, Cincinnati in. They will play the Dodgers tomorrow.
There's two stories here, in my opinion. The main story. Guardians coming all the way back and winning the division over the Tigers.
Now they play.
And now they play each other. Nobody thought Cleveland was making the playoffs just 2 weeks ago. They had to come back and win the division. It would be a bigger story had Detroit not even made the playoffs. But because they snuck into the wild card, it's not as big a story. And then the biggest story to me is Cincinnati getting in over the Mets. The New York Mets, who gave $800 million to Mr. Juan Soto, forgot that they need pitching. Didn't do anything about their pitching over the year. They had, with their season on the line, had to have a bullpen game basically yesterday because they have no starting pitching. And, I'd say breaks my heart, but it doesn't. It's the Mets. They got what they deserved. Second highest payroll in all of baseball, and they won 83 games. I guess Cincinnati got in, and they have like a $80 million payroll, something like that.
Cincinnati, man, they have quite the future. I think that team's future is so bright. They got a bunch of young. Their team is very young. They don't have many veterans on that team, but they still find a way to get into these playoffs. I think the Dodgers, no-brainer, probably win. But don't call me crazy. But the game Hunter Green pitches, I think the Reds could get a game from the Dodgers. I don't know if he's starting this series or playing in the second game. But Hunter Green, obviously the Reds' X factor, he's their best player. And we'll see how that goes. Who knows? Maybe baseball playoffs are the most unpredictable thing ever.
On paper, you would say LA wins that 2-0, no problem. But it's just, like I said, baseball's a strange sport. If the bats go cold at the wrong time, anybody can win. And then you got the Red Sox-Yankees. That's the marquee matchup of the wild card.
Yankees, they are playing. I really hope Boone has them ready because the Red Sox, the last time The Red Sox have knocked them out in the playoffs the last 3 times they've met in the postseason. Uh, that should be in every player's mind. That should be in Booney's mind. And man, tomorrow is going to be quite the opener. It's going to be who can get to the starter quicker. Max Fried versus Garrett Crochet. 2 lefties take the mound tomorrow for game 1.
Yeah, it's going to be an electric atmosphere in the Bronx. 6 o'clock. Great. Can't ask for anything more than that. I really don't know what to say about who's going to win because I have no idea. Red Sox had the Yankees number all season, but now it's a new season, and I've seen it go the other way, where a team that was good all season against one team, they meet in the playoffs, and the other team wins. You just don't know. The Yankees are playing their best baseball of the season right now. You got to hope it carries over.
It kind of makes you think with the hot streak they've been on, I hope this gives the right message, but you're kind of okay not winning the division because you're playing. Obviously, you get that bye. Every team wants that bye. But if you're playing hot and if you wait a little bit, that could kill it. I mean, we've seen it happen with teams. I'm not going to say they wouldn't want to win the division. That's everybody's goal. But it's not the worst thing in the world if they keep it going.
Because if you're on a hot streak, sometimes you get that, the division winners are going to be off for like almost a week, 5 days or something like that. And then that's a long time. And then your bats can go cold. So, yeah, I'm with you there. I'd like our chances better if it wasn't Crochet. but Fried's bounced back. He's been pitching really well. So let's see.
Yankees have Fried, Rodon, and Schlittler lined up. Red Sox are to be determined if there is a game 3. It will be Garrett Crochet, Brian Bayo, and Alex Cora just announced that Lucas Giolito is out for this series. So we will have to see if the game 3 is necessary.
Yeah, so if it goes to a game 3, I give the edge to the Yankees.
Padres and Cubs is the other series. This might be a good series. Cubs start it in Wrigley.
Yeah, this should be good. Cubs have 2 really good starting pitchers. I think I give them the edge in starting pitching, but then you give the Padres the edge in the bullpen. So, this could be a tight series. This could go 3 games, and
I look at this series going to 3 games. Tigers, Guardians, that is so tough to predict. As well as Yankees, Red Sox, and Dodgers, Reds. You think that's a 2-game series, but at the same time, you never know.
Yeah, that's one thing about this year is there's no dominant team. These teams are all so close that it can go. I would not be shocked if who wins any of them. The only one that I would be shocked at is if Cincinnati beats the Dodgers.
Wouldn't mind it, but I just don't see it happening.
I don't see it. The other 3 series can go any way. I have no idea, but I think they'll all be entertaining series, and can't wait because much like the NHL playoffs, the MLB playoffs are excellent. There's so much riding on each pitch. There's so much stress, and it's so much different than the regular season game. It's so much different.
So here's how the playoff bracket is set up. Winner of Tigers Guardians will play the Seattle Mariners. Winner of Yankees Red Sox will go ahead and take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Winner of Reds Dodgers will go on to take the Phillies. And the winner of not necessarily. If the Reds do win, they'll take on the Brewers. If the Tigers win,
they don't do that in baseball.
Do they not?
They don't reseed.
Okay, so this is how it's set up.
Yep.
Winner of Reds and Dodgers takes on Phillies. Winner of San Diego and Cubs takes on the Brewers. That's a little weird. I don't know. Man, if the Dodgers win, that series against the Phillies will be incredible. And then Brewers are just such a tough team to get a grip on. They are the best team in baseball on paper, but with the record, But on the other hand, the Blue Jays, who are on a big playoff slump right now, trying to get back on track with a hot streak this year, and then Seattle. Uh, this is their first time we've seen them in the playoffs in about 4 or 5 years. So I really like this bracket. I think it should be fun.
Yeah, it should be interesting. The only thing I don't like about it is I hate that you have all these, at least in the American League, you got the two teams playing against the division foes right away. So we've seen Yankees, Red Sox a ton, and we've seen Cleveland, Detroit a ton. It'd be nice if there was teams were switched, but it is what it is.
So with that, stay tuned because at the end we will make our World Series predictions. Now we get into the final stretch of our podcast, the NFL Week 4. And I mean, this was just such a fun week from beginning to end.
Yeah, what a day yesterday was, huh? A lot of close games. Games that you didn't think were going to be close were close. Um, there's really only what, two blowouts yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Just the Panthers, Patriots, and Lions, Browns. That was it. The other games were
Titans, Texans.
Titans, Texans too, yeah. But all the other games were close. Even the Bills Saints game was close right to the end there. The Bills pulled away at the end, but Saints had plenty of chances there. But
let's take a look at our Thursday night game first. Can't forget about that. This was also a close game. Seahawks and Cardinals. This first half was very messy, I would say, but as the game went on, it got really good towards the end. For the Cardinals, nobody for the Cardinals. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s touchdown was a little bit more than a touchdown. That guy has been on a serious cold streak. If you saw the touchdown, you saw how emotional he got. Yeah, the Cardinals need this guy to step up. I mean, he's the leader of that receiving room. And against the Niners, he had a couple of drops, had a rough start in this one, but in the second half, he came alive, and it was really refreshing to see.
Yeah, he's been kind of a disappointment in my eyes. With all the hype that he came in with, he just hasn't seemed like the other guys that he was part of at Ohio State have actually been better than him. Just on the other team, Seattle, Jackson and Jigba has been a better pro receiver than Harrison has. Maybe that's because he's had a better quarterback throw him the ball. I don't know, but Kyler Murray is what he is. I don't know if he's.
I'd say Kyler Murray is better than Geno Smith and Sam Darnold, but continue.
I don't
know about. He's better than Geno. That's not even a debate. That's not even close. Don't even think about that. Sam Darnold, you can make an argument for.
Sam Darnold's been pretty good the last couple years.
Sam Darnold has been good, so I think right now he's a better quarterback than Murray, but
yeah,
not Geno.
Well, Geno had his moments, though.
7 interceptions this year. Stop it.
But when he was with Seattle, he played pretty good. You got to say, I mean, he had a really good year there. Well, decent year last year. Anyway, but yeah, so good for Harrison. To me, the story of this game is Seattle. I just think I did not think Seattle was going to. I thought they were going to be like a 7 or 8 win team this year with Darnold, and they're surprising me. The coach there, he's pretty good.
McDonald, yeah.
He's got that defense playing really well, and Darnold has been playing good. He hasn't been, he's never going to be Superman, but he's been very steady. It wasn't just a fluke last year with Minnesota like I thought maybe it could have been. He's playing well this year. Played excellent against Pittsburgh. Played good in this game. So Seattle's a little bit of a surprise to me. I think they're better than what I thought they were going to be. So,
yeah. With how good Sam Darnold played with Minnesota, even though they were really confident in J.J. McCarthy, it made me surprised that the Vikings wouldn't want to try to run it back with him.
That may turn out to be a mistake.
It may be. I mean, that playoff game last year wasn't even his fault. No blocking. Just a collapse a little bit in the last couple of weeks. But, yeah, it's turning out to look like Sam Darnold is making a real career resurgence. I mean, good for him. He played with some of the worst teams in football. I know his play didn't look good, and I'm not gonna say I thought this guy would be some great quarterback, but seeing how he played with Carolina and New York, I couldn't bring myself to blame the guy for it. I mean, going to the Jets as a rookie quarterback, as it showed over the years, has been horrific. Panthers no not much better. And as soon as he goes to a team like San Francisco, the few times he played there with Shanahan, he looked good, really good last year. Now he's looking good with a pretty good Seattle team. So I always thought that I always thought that the dude deserved a fair chance
Yeah,
before we evaluated him.
he was a victim of circumstance where he got drafted, and yeah, so good for him. He's like I say, he's turning it around.
So they get the 23-20 win, and the Cardinals move to 2-2. Seattle moves to 3-1. Now we get to our Sunday games. Like you said, a lot of close ones. Steelers take their first ever NFL game in Ireland. There was some storylines that came from this. You did say that the international games are a little stupid because they take away a home game, but now we're really seeing the real risks with safeties of players. As before this game, Skylar Thompson, the backup quarterback for Pittsburgh, got jumped and robbed in Ireland.
Yeah, I still haven't heard, they haven't really said much about it, but I got a question. Um, we really don't know anything about what happened, so I can't really say much. The only thing I'm going to say is, was he was he somewhere he wasn't supposed to be, or they have security to go with these players? Did he go somewhere without security, or I mean, I don't know. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I can't really, like you said, I can't really comment on the situation because, like you said, there's no details come from it.
Steelers are one of these teams that will not give details about things, and
It's just headlines.
so we have no idea what really happens. But yeah, of all the places I would think I'd be more worried about Brazil or Mexico
Brazil, right? Yeah.
than I would be Ireland. But there you go. You just never know. But as far as the game goes, by far the Steelers' best game this year.
Defense was so good this game.
Don't let the yards fool you. A lot of those yards from Minnesota because they were playing catch up. The Steelers were in control of this game for most of the game. It got close at the end because Steelers seem to have trouble closing games out for some reason. They play very conservative when it comes to trying to close games out. So it gave Minnesota a chance there, but
this was on the offensive side, DK Metcalf's breakout game, no doubt.
Yes, he had a great first half.
As a Steeler, at least.
Yeah, Rodgers was very, very efficient. One thing I'll say about Rodgers, when he was with the Jets, I rooted heavily against him. I'm like, say he's washed, he's this, he's that. But what I'm learning now is that was more the Jets than him, or combination of. But he's not what he was 5 years ago. But he fumbled, but he still got it a little bit. And what I see that Pittsburgh hasn't had is a quarterback that knows what he's doing. His skill level isn't what it was once, but he knows what he's doing. The commentators, which I love, Greg Olson, he's really good, I think. Many times yesterday, he was telling us how many times that Rodgers checked out of plays that were supposed to be runs, and because of the front and all this, that he changed and they did a short pass. And I'm not sure the other quarterbacks on that roster could do that. He's very intelligent, very smart, gets them in the right play. He's not going to have gaudy numbers, but he's very efficient and gets them in the right play. I got to give him credit for that. And if this defense keeps getting better, they could win this division with what we're seeing through Baltimore now, which we'll talk about. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but
I think what can't go unnoticed is how well Gainwell filled in the running back one slot. Warren was ruled out at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. So next guy up, and Gainwell ended up getting 2 touchdowns and 99 yards on the ground.
Yeah, he played great. I think the offensive line had their best game.
Yes.
Um, uh, so if we continue to see this improvement, to me, the key, I know that we were disappointed with the defense the last couple because they gave a lot of yards, but they played better the last 2 games, taking the ball away, getting sacks. Um, but that offensive line is the key. Uh, if they start to gel and play good, they're extremely young. 2-year, second-year players all the way through there. If they start to gel, that's going to be the key. Because if they start playing good, this team's going to be good.
So there you have it. The Steelers get the win over the Vikings. We'll go take a visit at LA, Giants Chargers. Jackson Dart, his first NFL start is a win against the the before unbeaten Chargers. And they won, but they lost at the same time. Malik Neighbors, their wide receiver one, is going to be out for the rest of the season. He tore his ACL. It was a really awkward route when he was going to stop to jump for the ball. And it makes you wonder how much more ACLs have to go through MetLife turf before NFL goes all grass.
Yeah, they don't. They just don't seem to want to ever change that. And no matter what happens, player after player saying that the turf there is horrible, and they don't do anything about it. They don't want grass. Apparently, it's too hard to maintain. I
It's
guess.
crazy to me that, like, on that turf, all of the Giants players end up getting hurt usually, not the other team.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's just dumb luck, but
Maybe it would. I feel like that would make me want to change it. But anyways, Jackson Dart, 13 of 20, 111 yards, a touchdown. Giants are really loving to pound the rock. They ran it 32 times, 25 went to Scatabo, 7 to Singletary. Oh my gosh, Scatabo is just fun to watch, man. He just bulldozes, and I was always looking for contact. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen kind of a running back like that.
yeah, he's fun. We saw it in college last year. I wondered how it would translate, but he's doing well. And Dart played decent. Didn't make any crucial mistakes. No big no. Did well. He did really good running the ball. Great debut. Got the win. To me, the bigger story of this game is the Giants' defense is really good. That defensive line put it to the Chargers, and hey, who knows the Giants? I mean, it's just one game, but you gotta like what you saw yesterday.
Well, yeah, and if we go to the overview, I mean, I don't know what it was, but if the Giants' time of possession was better than it was last week, that would explain why they had so much success. I mean, against the Chiefs, their defense played good for about 3 quarters, and then they ended up running out of steam. So
Yeah,
that was yeah, the Giants actually had the ball way longer than the Chargers, 35 minutes time of possession. Isn't that crazy how that stat can change so much about a game?
yeah, it is. It's that game especially. That tells the whole story.
Well, we are on a time crunch, but there's just one more game that we absolutely cannot skip over, and that would be last night. Packers and Cowboys play for 4 hours, and the game ends in a tie.
Unbelievable. I couldn't believe that. I turned it off at 11 because I got to get up early, and I was thinking about, oh, maybe I'll just stay up and watch it because it was I think it was 23-20 when I'm glad I didn't turn it on because no way I could have stayed up that late. Unbelievable tie. I hate ties, but
Seems like the players did too. I mean, NBC was interviewing both Love and Prescott. They were kind of just like, didn't know how to feel about it. It was like, oh, I mean, both of these teams, though, I mean, this was one of those games that nobody could be stopped. I mean, these offenses were absolutely going blow for blow, punch for punch, and eventually it ended up ending in a tie.
Yeah,
I will say, you probably didn't see it, but Jordan Love and the Packers got really lucky that they could even tie this game. It was an overtime. They were on their drive, and they had no timeouts. They took way too long to run one more play before they had to just settle for the field goal in the tie in overtime because the time was running out. Jordan Love snaps the ball with about 6 or 5 seconds left, throws it out of the back of the end zone, and the clock stops at exactly 1. And I think they had like 20-something seconds to deal with.
wow. So if one more second goes off, they don't tie it.
The Cowboys win.
Yeah.
So they end up, Love throws it out of the end zone. There's 1 second left. LaFleur says, hey, let's just not get a one in the loss column. McManus goes out, kicks the field goal, absolutely zero emotion, and it ends up in a 40-40 tie. With how much attention was pointed towards Micah Parsons, he didn't really have that good of a game. The Cowboys' offensive line, obviously they were really focused on him, especially. They didn't want him to get to the quarterback.
It's a tie, but in my mind, it's a Dallas win because Green Bay is the better team, and they had this supposed vaunted defense, and they just gave up almost 450 yards almost of offense. Like I said, Micah Parsons didn't do anything, and if you're Dallas, you're like, wow. Everybody thought Green Bay was going to come in here and wipe the floor with us, and we tied. I mean,
well, I'll tell you, the only reason that this game ended in a tie was because of Dallas's ending to the first half. I mean, how huge was that? Went from the blocked extra point to the strip on Love to the touchdown to Pickens. I mean, it was a great ending of the first half, and I like that point there. This is definitely a win in Dallas's book psychologically.
yeah, definitely, because Parsons coming back. Everybody thought, oh, Parsons gonna get 4 or 5 sacks and go crazy. Even that didn't happen. So
That was the whole pregame.
Yep.
So,
which was ridiculous, but we'll get to that. That no sense getting into that, but
nope. Let's head into our exciting plays of the week. First play of the week from Dublin. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Rodgers over the middle. This is complete. DK Metcalf, he's got those wheels. Metcalf gets past a couple white jerseys. Metcalf down the sideline. Metcalf, 80-yard touchdown.
What a play. We've been waiting for that for 3 weeks now. Finally happened.
Look at that Rodgers and Tomlin moment. And Metcalf soars. And this guy is so fast.
Hard to believe a guy that big is that fast, but you think he's faster than Pickens?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Coming from Saints and Bills. Radler will pitch to Shaheed. To Olave. Philly special action. Cole Bishop flies in with the one-hand snag and picks off Chris Olave.
That is so New Orleans Saints. The Philly special and ends up in a interception.
Wow. What a grab. Radler didn't even bother.
Nope.
Coming from Guardians and Rangers. 1-2 count to Brian Rocchio. A win gives them VAL Central. Cornell deals. Rocchio. Deep drive to right. The biggest division comeback ever complete on a walk-off Rocchio slam.
Unbelievable. What a moment.
If it had to happen one way, I think that is the best way, the most fitting way the Guardians could win the division. A walk-off slam by Brian Rocchio in extras. 15.5 games they were down, Dad, and they come all the way back. Incredible.
Incredible. This was a team that traded away a bunch of good players, too, because they thought they were done.
Coming from Dallas and Green Bay, Dak Prescott looks. It's caught by Pickens. Pickens gets past one. Pickens to the end zone. Touchdown, Cowboys. What a night he had.
This was his coming out party in Dallas.
I don't think we've ever seen him go for that much yards in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform. This was definitely his best game probably of his career. Again, it's Cowboys and Packers, and again, it's Dak to throw. Prescott has to move, avoiding Parsons, letting one fly. Tolbert's down there, feet down, adjustment made. What a catch by Jalen Tolbert.
What a crazy play that was. Wow.
When I saw this live, I thought Dak was just firing that one to the stands. No. What a job by Tolbert.
Yeah, the DB completely gave up on the play.
Coming from Raiders and Bears, Carlson out for an extra point. It's blocked again. Another game is ended by a blocked field goal, this time en route to Chicago.
Unbelievable. Vegas thought they were going for the win. It goes the other way. Wow.
Coming from Raiders and Bears, last play of the week. Handoff to Genty by Smith. Genty gets past some. Genty has Byard to beat. Stays on his feet. Ashton Genty has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Touchdown, Raiders.
Boy, has he ever arrived.
Ryan Clark, his words were, this guy doesn't have the it factor. Ashton Genty says, I'll show you that. 3 touchdowns this game. Well, Dad, that is the end of today's episode. Who was your top performer and biggest disappointer?
My top performer, I'm going to give it to DK Metcalf. By far his best game as a Steeler. 80-yard touchdown. What a day for him. Way to go, DK. And my biggest disappointment is none other than the entire New York Mets franchise. Second highest payroll in all of baseball. Stole Juan Soto from the Yankees, and you didn't even make the playoffs.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. The top performer for me is going to go to Romeo Doubs. He had 3 touchdowns for Green Bay, and he is definitely one of their more talented receivers. My biggest disappointment is going to have to go to Geno Smith. His second game this year where he's thrown 3 interceptions. Horrible.
He's been bad.
It's not been a good start for him and Pete Carroll and their Raiders journey, so he's my biggest disappointment. And for predictions, none other than who do you have facing off in the World Series?
I'm going to be a homer. I'm going to say the Yankees in the American League against, I'm going to go Phillies.
Yankees, Phillies, huh? It's crazy. That's mine, too.
Wow. We didn't even talk about this.
We did not.
No.
Did not, for the record. So, with that will end today's episode. Once again, I'm Preston. That's my father, Mike. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye.